What I'd like to do at this point is just look at, we'll see how many examples we do, but a couple examples of realms of life where AI is/will be having a big impact, and what that arm's length approach to it perhaps is. And the first one I'll bring up is education.
Mm,
Obviously, there's a lot of examples of plagiarism and cheating, like that immediately comes to mind when we think about it. And that's heinous for all the obvious reasons.
yeah,
I don't care
that's
how
the immediate threat, and then all those like TikTok tutorials of kids teaching others how to use AI to plagiarize
it
and
should
to
all be
cheat
banned.
and to basically write their essays for them. No.
To quote a good friend of mine, send them to the mines. That's what I say. Be a
Was
fitting
that me
punishment.
too, or was that somebody else?
That is somebody else.
Okay, that does
One
sound
of
like
our
something I
one
would
of
say.
our original listeners, I might add, though. Actually, um, so obviously that's a problem. I could see it aiding teachers in a certain sense, basically just following the same principles we've talked about. It
I mean,
shouldn't
depending
make
on
your
what it
lesson plan.
is,
That would be pretty dumb.
depending on what it is and what the assignments are, a teacher could, in theory, if the AI is properly trained, a teacher could, in theory, take grading time out and have the AI grade certain things.
Yeah, like your math test can be graded by an AI because it's math. It can do math. No, don't have it grade my writing assignment, but have it grade the math. But I know that intuitively,
But you could
one makes more
potentially
sense.
even grade AI to just look for grammar.
Yeah,
So you don't necessarily have to read it quite as actively, where it can look for grammar, then mark the bad grammar spots, which Microsoft Word already does. Not very well, but it already does that. But you could have AI just at least examine it for grammar, and then you go through that after making all the grammar marks and read it for quality.
mm-hmm.
Because something could have impeccable grammar and be complete crap. But it shouldn't replace the teacher.
Which leads into another example I have within the world of education. So back in April, one of the main AI companies out there, Anthropic, um, who on the surface actually also seem to be somewhat conscientious when it comes to AI. I know
Mm-hmm.
they've done, for example, they've done research on AI models, including their own, that's really revealed that it will blackmail people in an attempt to preserve itself, and their
That's not
own
fun.
model their own model ran afoul of that, and they were honest about it. So I do like that about them. Not that I'm
Maybe let's
not that I'm deep into it.
reprogram them and not have the self protection mechanism, the self defense mechanisms in there,
Yeah, that would be nice.
because that's not so good.
No, but here's the example I want to bring up. In April, they announced that they were releasing something or creating something or whatever called Claude. Claude is their model. Claude for education. And it was going to be something that you could buy as like an institutional product. So like campus colleges could buy it for their schools. Maybe high schools could. I don't know the fullest extent.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it could do a number of things, but like one of the highlights of what it did was it would be available to students to help them in their learning. But instead of providing answers, what it would reply with was a set of questions. It was trained to ask them questions in order to make them think. It was trained to make them basically engage in Socratic dialogue
Right.
with the thing in order to become smarter. And I can see upsides and downsides to that, but I want your instant reaction to that. Hearing that.
Well, my instant reaction is, well, at least it's not giving them all the answers, which is what I'm sure some of the less scrupulous AI companies would be creating. Uh, my my first reaction to that is okay, fine. If it's asking them questions, that's Good, because at least it's prompting them to think enough to be able to answer a question. Now I want to know what kind of questions it's asking them. Are these like softball questions? Are these yes or no questions? Is it only responding with is it only responding to a well thought out answer, one that is clearly well thought out?
Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
that kind of thing. It was like I have to see it myself to be able to have a formed opinion on it. My second thing, whether or not I've seen it, is I also don't want my students to just be having a conversation with a robot. They need to be talking to each other, which is vital to philosophy, to thinking, to just logic in general.
Hmm.
Is you have to be able to talk to somebody else. So I would say maybe also put limits on it to maybe how far it will go, and then say, "Nah, I'm going to stop here. You need to go talk to a human being."
I think that'd be really smart and really cool.
If AIs were programmed to say, "Look, you've been talking to me long enough. I don't want to talk to you for a week.
Hmm.
I'm not going to answer any more of your questions for a week. Go talk to a human being." If it senses how long you've been talking to it, or the kind of things that you've been asking it.
Hmm.
Now I kind of want there to just be a really snarky and sarcastic AI that when you ask it, hey, what's a good burger place in town? I don't know. Look at a map.
Sounds like we need to train an AI model off of you.
I mean, if we trained an AI model to encourage people to think for themselves, then that would be a good thing. Rather than just immediately giving them the answers to things and saying, "All right, look, you've been talking to me enough. Please go talk to an actual human being."
Hmm. Yeah, one of the themes that we've kind of hit on, but haven't have only explicitly talked about so much is community and how much
Yep.
that is threatened by AI. So, like
Because
when
if
I look,
AI gets convincing enough, people could just start talking to AI constantly and not to each other,
yep,
which is just going to be an empty void that people are going to get sucked into. And why I think we need AI to be programmed to at least eventually say, "Do you even have any friends?"
yes, yes, we do.
Like, "Do you have any friends?" If the answer is yes, then have the AI say, or have it programmed so that it says, "Okay, good. Please go talk to them. It's not good for you to be talking to me this long. Please go talk to them." And if the answer is no, the first reaction should be, "I don't believe you, but if that's really the case, go make some."
Exactly. Yeah, when I look at something like a Claude for education, when I look at something like when I look at, I guess this applies to all AI models. That's one of the biggest safeguards that needs to be put in place. And if the companies aren't going to do it themselves, which I'm not going to expect that they will, then I need to do that. And I need to be able to train people on how to do it. And so I need to learn how to use this thing appropriately in one of a number of good ways, like or one of a number of good styles, if you will, in life. But I can't let it just replace my talking to people. I can't. What you said about philosophy, studying that as a studying that just by talking with other people as opposed to just getting the Socratic dialogue from an AI.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much more value to getting it from a human person. Even if their ideas are wrong, like if you're properly formed and trained and well guided, you actually can learn more from the bad idea from the human,
Yeah, well, you
perhaps.
have to talk to people you don't agree with. Almost more than you need to talk to people that you do agree with.
Yeah, you can have a good back and forth, and that good back and forth will be more human than it will be with an AI.
This is why husbands and wives need to talk more. Everybody needs to talk with somebody that disagrees with them. So husbands, go talk to your wives, and wives, listen to your husbands.
The only thing I'll briefly mention is that it is my hope that, well, this would be hopefully good coming out of evil in a sense. If plagiarism gets so bad in higher education because of AI, I hope that they all just go back to a blue book system and everybody suffers when they have to write their papers,
Oh
because that
no,
would get around the problem.
what I want is if like plagiarism and misuse of AI gets so bad that institutions widely just go back to Xerox machines and typewriters. Like screw it, we're doing it by hand.